the gate. And they're off. And a perfect beginning for Songbird. She came bouncing right out of there. Queen Esther is out in the middle of the racetrack. Karina Mia moving up down inside as Catherine Sophia takes back. So Karina Mia will use that inside position, and she will win the run to the first turn. Mike Smith is content to yield that position, as she'll sit second now on the outside with Songbird. Just in behind those two is Disco Rose. Catherine Sophia is edged out into the clear. She's fourth on the outside. It's about 3 lengths off of Karina Mia as they head toward the backstretch. Another 3 back to Landover C, and Queen Esther trails after an opening quarter in 23 and 4. So Julian Leperoux is going to try to get it done on the front end with Karina Mia. Shadowed outside by the champ. Songbird sitting second. She's only 3/4 of a length behind. Disco Rose the long shot just in behind those two. And Catherine Sophia is going to follow the run of Songbird with a half mile to go. The opening half was 47 and 3. So Karina Mia, Songbird still 1-2 as they begin to make their way to the far turn. Disco Rose is still close up. Catherine Sophia well within striking range, and now Mike Smith makes his move. They head to the far turn with 3/8 to go, and now Songbird up to engage Karina Mia, and Catherine Sophia, she's in with a chance. She's only 2 lengths behind the two. So the big three right together with a 1/4 mile to go. Songbird still under a hand ride. Karina Mia beginning to be ridden along a bit, and Catherine Sophia now suddenly 3 lengths behind, but Songbird comes off the turn, and the champ has taken command. At the gate pole, Songbird begins to stride away. Karina Mia second, Catherine Sophia laboring back in third. Here she is, folks. Just a magnificent blend of grace and power as she comes to the finish. Songbird, a picture of perfection.
Well, the champion delivered. They took her down to park. She took on Karina Mia, Catherine Sophia. Different racetrack, the result the same. Overpowering was Songbird.
Yeah, I mean, you and I watching the race together, neither one of us was sure that she was going to do it around the turn because it felt like the one inside of her, Karina Mia, was going very well in here, and Catherine Sophia's looming behind her, but when the real racing was done, she's just way too good for these horses, and I'm about the only fool left in this country that keeps trying to beat her.
And Mig, off that, 11 for 11 is Songbird. She is just terrific.
Yeah, she's spectacular, guys. I honestly thought she might have been in trouble down the back, so she didn't look particularly comfortable to me. You look at where Mike's hands were placed on her. He was kind of letting the reins slide through his fingers and pop her on the neck and let her run on, and she just kept coming. And I think they threw a big punch at her. I thought she answered more questions today than any other race. And again, I just wasn't sure she was particularly comfortable early in the race, but that's what champions do. They just continue to find ways to win.
Obviously, that adds a lot of flavor heading to the Breeders' Cup. She'll be one of the stars, hands down, going into the Breeders' Cup this staff when you likely have a Beholder who could be in the mix and some other good older fillies and mares like Stellar Wind.
No, there's a huge difference between the 3-year-old fillies that she's running against and the kind of competition with the Mighty Beholder and Stellar Wind and other horses as well. You've got Cavorting, who's been sensational this year, going out there, Forever Unbridled, and other horses. So it's a much different scenario, but she's passed all the tests against the 3-year-olds. There's no doubt she's a 3-year-old champ at this point.
Now it's on to Olders, right, Mig? The Eclipse Award locked up for Songbird. But again, Beholder, Stellar Wind, those are some pretty good fillies who will have the home court advantage, at least in Southern California.
Well, they're very good fillies and mares. I mean, Beholder's still sticking around and getting it done. But, Songbird trains out there. She's won out there. I honestly don't think she was handling the park surface particularly well. So actually maybe going home to California will be a benefit to her. And I agree, though. I mean, she's going to have to step up her game another level. But I don't see any reason why she can't. I mean, she just answers every question with an emphatic yes every time. She's pretty fun to watch.
She is special, and the streak now a perfect 11 for 11, an Eclipse Award, a Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies Trophy. All comers have been dusted by the mighty Songbird. It's amazing even just looking at her cut of, perfect 11 for 11. Every race is by daylight. I mean, her smallest win margin is like 3.5 lengths.
And she's taking on all comers. That's what I like the most about it, Jason. I like the fact that she's not hand-picking her races and finding soft spots. She ran the big races out in California. Then she comes east and goes to Saratoga. Then she goes back and comes back for this race, the Cotillion. They're not handling her with kid gloves. They are taking on all the big girls, and they're going to do it again in the Breeders' Cup. They're not afraid of anybody, and so far, no reason they should be.
Well, kudos to Rick Porter, Jerry Hollendorfer. We saw assistant trainer Christina Jelm giving Songbird a little bath and some water there. And, of course, the iconic, legendary Hall of Fame jockey Mike Smith still getting it done. Perhaps the greatest, one of the greatest big race money riders of all time. She'll get the garland of roses. The Grade 1 Cotillion belongs to Songbird, and we'll be back on